So I don't know about you guys, but I am looking forward to warmer weather. And since spring is just around the corner, thought I would make a spring-themed 3D print piece and kind of show you guys how to do it. This piece that I'm creating is actually going to take advantage of two different tools, and that is both my 3D printing and my UV printer. Yeah, see, I gotta remember which side they're on when I'm doing this. Yeah. Since April is cherry blossom season in Japan, and for those of us who love all things anime, kawaii, manga, that tends to be kind of a fun time of year. I don't know about you guys, but it's definitely my dream to get the opportunity to go and see the cherry blossoms in Japan. That would be such a cool trip. I thought it would be a neat idea to make some blossoms for my bonsai calendar tree that I have on my desk. My tree currently looks like this, as you can see. This is a really neat print. ForgeCore is the original maker of this, and you can get this print through their website. I will leave a link in the description. They have a license, actually, if you want to sell these commercially, although admittedly I don't see anybody selling these. It's one of those where it's a long print and it's probably not worth the return investment, but to print for yourself, it's absolutely beautiful. And one of the cool things about it, as you can see, is that it's got these leaves, and these leaves are connected to the tree in various spots with magnets. And then there's also one on the ground where you can set the leaf, and it shows the number of the day. There's a rock that has the month, and then everything actually sits inside in a nice little inside piece, as you can see. So the tree, as you can see, has magnetic tops, and all of the leaves will connect. That way you can set it on there, and then when that day is done, you can pop it up on the tree wherever you feel the need, and they snap right in place. Printed these leaves using Creality's Rainbow PLA Plus filament. I'll leave a link in the description. But the way I got the ombre effect with it, rather than have it print, because the file has all of the leaves on one plate, so you can run, I think, 15 of them at a time, so about half of them. But in this case, what I did was I had the printer print each leaf by object rather than the entire plate. And by doing that, it slowly transitioned through the color change. And so I get a little bit of a rainbow effect. And I happened to be fortunate enough that it was timed really nicely, so it had the blue and it was going into the pink, and it stopped right before it got to orange and yellow territory. So it's a nice color combo. It works really well in my studio space out where I do most of my working versus filming in here. But what I wanted to do was make a set of cherry blossoms that I could use next month. So to do that, I am going to design a shape that I can put the magnets in, and then rather than using a filament change to change the top of it as well as put the date in, which is how these were created, I am going to take advantage of the UV Make printer and have it print out a cherry blossom picture on one side and the date on the other. Now that you know what we're working on, let's get started. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is get my design for my cherry blossom set and ready to go. Now, this is the sticker design that I designed last week, and I'm actually just going to reuse this design because I think it's a good shape for my flowers, as well as I like the background. I think that'll look nice. So to prep this, all I really need to do is turn off a couple things. I don't need the text, and then I'm going to also turn off this outside shape, which has the additional border, and then that's all I'm really going to need to create my little cherry blossom. I'm going to go ahead and select everything, and I'll take a moment and just kind of reset the rotation. There we go. So this is the design that I am going to export as a PNG to be my design that gets printed from the UV printer, but it's also going to be the shape that I'm going to use to create my file. And so let me show you what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to select all of this, and I'm going to go File, Export, Export. I'm going to export as a PNG, and I'm going to just pick my selection area. That'll trim everything, make it easier when I bring it over into UV Make. I don't have to worry about additional border affecting my sizing. Actually, that brings up a good point. I want to make sure this is set to the size that I want, which is going to be 55 millimeters wide. That's how big I want my little flower to be. Now I can go File, Export, Export, Export as a PNG. That'll create my little flower, and I'll save that on my hard drive. And then one other thing I need to make is I need to get the SVG file that I'm going to use to extrude my shape in Bambu. Now I don't need this additional star. I'm just going to use my curve here, and I'm going to go ahead and turn off my border so it's a nice simple shape, no complexity in it, just to make sure that it comes into Bambu okay. With that, I'm going to go File, Export, Export again, but this time I'm going to pick SVG. And again, I make sure I've got selection only, and I'll export that as the shape that I need to bring over in Bambu. That's really all I have to do over here, is I just really needed to save out my design and save out my shape for my cherry blossom. If you're interested in learning how I put this together, you can check out my previous video, which shows you kind of how I went through creating this cherry blossom shape without having to do any drawing whatsoever. And then I added text as well just to make a really cute sticker. But now that I've got everything ready, let's go to the next step, which is to go over into Bambu Studio and create my sakura blossoms. So we are over here in Bambu, and what we are going to do is we are going to go to File, and we're going to import, and we're going to import that SVG that we saved out. I put it on my desktop, and I'm going to bring it in. It's that sakura shape. There we go. And see, bringing it in, it actually already creates the file that I need. It creates a shape based on the SVG, and then it will set it to kind of an automatic height of 10 millimeters. I don't want my leaves to be that tall. I only want my leaves to be about 3.5 tall. So I'm going to turn off uniform scale, and I'm going to set this to 3.5. All right, we're almost there. One final thing I need to do for this shape is I need to put in a little circle for the magnet. Now the magnets that I have are 5 millimeter radius with a 2 millimeter thickness. So I need to put in that size hole. So I am going to right click the shape, and I am going to say add negative part, and I am going to load a cylinder. You put in the measurements that you need. So in this case, I need it to be 5 by 5 by 2 high, and then it's a matter of moving it into place. And there are some nice alignment features that are now available. So I can say I want these to be aligned center to the selected. So I'm going to center them completely. And then I am going to align the tops. And then what that does is that will put the shape of the hole right on top of the print so that it'll print a bottom, and then it'll leave a little bit of a hole. And then it's just a matter of where I want it to be. If I want it to be in the very center of the flower, or if I want to move it off towards one of the petals. With the leaves, they're slightly off center because the leaf kind of grows out, but flowers more often than not typically will be more centered. So I don't really need to do any more than that at this point. I just need to click slice plate and check. And as you can see, I have a little flower all ready to go print-wise. And this is just set with standard settings. But the only other thing then I really need to do is I need to make a bunch of copies of these. So I am going to take my little shape here, and I am going to clone it. And I need 29 copies because there's 30 days in April. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and make 30 copies. That way I have 31 in the event that I want to use it for another month. And I will arrange. I can get all of them on just like that. And then I can, of course, set the color if desired. I'll just set it to a pink shade. And I most likely will use one of my Polyterra PLAs. And then we can go slice again and see that this will print, and it'll take about 2 hours and 41 minutes. And I'm going to put them on a smooth plate so that the other side is smooth. 2 hours and 41 minutes, 89 grams, cost me about $2.26. If I wanted to, and I wanted to smooth the tops, iron just the topmost surface, and I can do rectilinear. That's going to double my print time. So that's really sort of a personal choice as to whether or not if you want the second side smooth. I mean, the smoother your surface, the better your UV ink is going to be. So it'll take a little bit longer with the smoothing. That's kind of up to you. But I feel like when I've done prints with my bookmarks, I still end up getting a little bit of texture on the opposite side with an application of ink. So sometimes it helps to have a smooth surface. But that's how easy it is to create this little print. So I'm going to get these printed, and then once they're printed, I will be able to put them in the UV printer and get the sides printed. These turned out pretty good. The only downside is when I went to check and make sure if the magnet fit, this hole was a little too small. That can happen sometimes depending on which material you're using, and it's always worth testing and maybe just printing one to make sure that things fit. Otherwise, you're just going to be left with a bunch of itty-bitty little flowers that you don't really have any purpose with. On the bright side, at least I have testers that I can run through the UV printer to make sure that I'm using enough ink before I do my final set. So anyway, I went in, adjusted the radius to be 5.1, and then I made the height 2.1 just to give it a little extra bit of space. That should ideally solve my problem. And I'll print a tester to make sure, and then I will create 2 more plates. Once I've got all these printed, we'll head over to Eufy Make Studio and I'll show you how I set them up for printing in the UV printer. Okay, so I've gotten my pieces printed, and since I had the tolerance debacle, I've got quite a few left over that I can play around with and make sure I get my settings dialed in with my ink. So I've gone ahead and I've laid out 5 of them here on my small bed. When I go to do all of them, I'll flip to my big bed, but since I'm doing this with just a tester, I can do that and it'll have slightly better fume control. Also, I'm just being lazy and I don't really want to switch the plate out right at the moment. So anyway, I've got these flowers, I've got them lined up. I'm using the Ultimate Jig from Wham Bam to keep things from overspraying, as well as allowing me to do lineup. If this was something I was going to sell and I was going to do this many, I honestly would be assembling a 3D printed jig so I could pop them in and have perfect alignment every time. But since this is a one-time project for myself, I'm going to use the grid and do it this way. That way it'll make lining them up in the software much easier. So I'll get this in the machine, and then we're going to jump over to the software where I'm going to line up my little tests so I can see just how much ink I need to get the coverage that I want. Okay, so I got myself loaded here over in Eufy Make Studio, and I've gone ahead and taken a snapshot. And if you look at this, you can notice a little bit of sort of fisheyeing going on. That's a lot of times why 0-point alignment is going to be a little more accurate. However, I do have a bit of an advantage here because I know I've got the mat underneath, and it's got, for every point right on center, it's 10 millimeters. So if I have this, my center one happens to be pretty much dead on here, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, looks like this one moved. That's easy enough to fix. I'll slide that back in before I hit print. But that's good because then I can know, okay, these all go in the one spot. So I can bring in my design, center it on this one, and I can move it over 60 millimeters, and they should work and print and cover the surface and be all nice and aligned. So I'm going to go ahead and I will upload an image, and I'm going to grab my little Sakura UV print sheet. Now, when I exported this earlier, grabbed the wrong one, my Sakura 3D print. So now I have my flower. I'll put that in center. We're going to zoom in, and then it's just a matter of sizing this down and lining it up. I think that works pretty well. So what I'm going to do is I will duplicate, and then we are going to move over a width of -60. Duplicate again, take out another 60. And that'll line me up. And you see how it's, well, obviously this one I need to fix, but you'll see how it looks a little more off the farther away you get. That's definitely kind of due to the fisheye lens. So I'm going to grab this one. I am going to duplicate it, add 60 more, duplicate this one, add 60 more. Okay, so I have them all positioned. Now these are all set to sort of white CMYK, which should work pretty well for the coloring. Now it's pink, so in theory, pink on top of pink shouldn't really have an issue, but I am going to go ahead and kind of test just to see how we're going to do this because I'm curious. So this one's going to have 1 CMYK layer, and I like to do 2 personally, and 1 white. This one's going to be 2 and 2, 3 and 2, 4 and 2, and then 5 and 2. And if I go back and click them, 3, 2, 1. All right. So we are all set. So these can run, and having them run, I can then see how they look, make a decision on how many layers of white I need. And then once that's done, I'll flip them over and do the numbers. And then I will show you guys the results and what my decision is. So after messing around a little bit with designs and playing with my original design, I decided I really didn't like the look of that, and I wanted something with a little more detail. Now I played around a little bit with creating a gradient pattern, and I felt like that gave slightly better results, but I ultimately put the star back in to create a center design, which I really kind of liked, and then of course adjusted and played around with the brightness and the contrast in Eufy Make. This is actually the original design come over from Affinity Designer, and then this is the design actually adjusted with some increased brightness. Now, I did 2 separate styles. I did a 3D raised texture, which, if you can see in the light, gives sort of these raised lines a little bit. And I don't really like the look of that. I wanted to give it a little bit of something because you can still see the surface of the 3D print. So I ended up doing a raised image of only really about 0.3. That's the lowest you can swing, and that eliminated any little grid lines that was left over and created the design I want. It also results in less cleanup because with the 3D printed texture, there's a lot of overspray, despite me lining things up pretty well. And yet the same alignment technique really was much more minimal with a raised image. So my plan is to go with this one. Like I said, I played around with the brightness on it. This was the original image. This was it at 15, and then this was it at 8, which is what I liked. I may turn the saturation up just a tiny bit for a little bit more color, but I'm pretty happy with this one. And so this is the design I'm going to go ahead and print on all of my little guys that now have their numbers put in place. Here, I did make 31 in case I wanted to use this for another month. Obviously, April has 30. So now I'm just going to get these printed in the machine, and then we'll go to the next step, which is adding in the magnets and then seeing how it looks on the tree. So these printed pretty well. At this point, the only step left is to add the magnets, and the most important thing is to consider the polarity of the magnet. So I placed one on top of one of the leaves to make sure that it had the right polarity pattern, and then it's just a matter of making sure that I keep that same pattern going. So I usually just will stack one of the ones on top and confirm the polarity, and then just rinse and repeat. And as you can see, thanks to fixing my tolerance, they all fit perfectly nice and tight. And there you have it, my cherry blossom calendar tree. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I really like how this turned out. I feel like this will look beautiful for April, and it'll be a nice set to play with if maybe I want to do this during the spring or anytime I just kind of feel like I need a little, little floral, little happy action going on. Now, I know I could certainly have changed up the design a little bit and done it as like a 3D print, but I wanted to try and see what kind of design I could get. Now, Printit has a set of licenses to follow. I do have the commercial license, which means I can sell the print itself, but I can't sell it with modifications or any additional mods that are created. So unfortunately, I can't share the digital file with you guys or physically sell the mods, but I will leave a link in the description to the bonsai tree model where you can get it, and then you can certainly follow this video if you wanted to create the flowers. If you guys are interested in doing this and end up following the instructions and want just like the art to put on for the print, I think I can share that. So let me know in the comments if you want that. That's everything I have for you guys today. I just sort of thought I'd show you guys how to go through sort of a simple modeling process. Really, I didn't even have to touch any CAD software with this. It was a matter of creating an SVG file and just turning it into a shape in Bambu Studio. That is kind of nice, is that you can kind of get around with doing really simple modeling within their software. And then of course, it's just a matter of personalizing it depending on what you want to do. If you want to see more content like this, by all means, hit the subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications. Also, if you could tap the like button to tell the Eldritch algorithm that this video was a good one. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.